Okay guys, little intro here, and right there you see the new line of the Retina display family, starting over there on the left, little iPhone, of course the new iPad, and of course the Retina display. So I just thought you guys would like to see that maybe. I got a couple emails after my last video on my review of the MacBook Pro with Retina display. A couple of you were interested, and I myself wanted to see, well, what do they look like, compared to each other, how does that screen there, the brightness there and the sharpness, how does it compare with that screen there on the iPad? And then let me do this real quick. I'm actually downloading, which is interesting, there we go. That's kind of a little bit better of a display, I think. I'm trying to do that there. So, I have to say that the iPad, I just somehow, for me, this iPad just really pops out at you. The iPhone is good, don't get me wrong, it's nice and crystal clear. But something about the iPad pops out. Now, they've tried to reduce the glare on the new Retina display. In fact, it really doesn't have that glossy look. But I kind of wonder if they kind of use that glass to pop out those icons a little bit more. There's just something really intense about the iPad as opposed to, don't get me wrong, the Retina display on the MacBook Pro is beautiful and it's awesome, but it doesn't quite grab you the way I think the iPad does, to be honest with you. Anyway, so I'll be back in just a moment. Well, howdy there, Pipe Pals. It's I, Holy Smoking Pipe Padre. How are you doing? Hope you had a great day today. I am just living in the tall cotton. It doesn't get really any better than this. It's a beautiful sunset right out the window there. And even though it's hot outside, grateful for the old air conditioning, the old AC. And it's just really nice to be able to make an old video to you guys and say howdy and kind of talk about my day, So there you have it. I'm going to do some readjusting here. There we go. Okay, le housekeeping. We have a Peterson. Yeah, I even have a little P thing there on the side too. A Peterson that I've had, let's see, going back since 1980, probably 1988. So I've had this a number of years, and in it I'm smoking some Sherlock Holmes blend. However, I just saw Thomas's Dr. Thomas Jurisprudence, also known as Dr. Thomas Puffendorf. Anyway, but he has a pipe identical to this, and yes, this was the one that was designed. It was the one that was smoked by Basil Rathbone in the 1940s Universal movies about Sherlock Holmes. And in it, I am smoking Sherlock Holmes blend from Briar Patch. They have it in tin, they have it in bulk. But I had a little bit of my pirate cake left over, and I mixed the two. A little 50-50 solution there. And I have to say, it's pretty darn good. I am getting some chocolate notes. I noticed that Thomas said that he had heard some people say there was chocolate notes, and that could very well be more from the pirate cake mixing. Very sweet. I mean, when I say sweet, I don't mean syrupy, but I mean dolce, that kind of sweet. Just a light sweetness. Okay, well, in the beginning of this video, you saw some of my little Mac things here. I just wanted to kind of get this Mac thing out. I hope you don't think I'm turning into a product review kind of a guy, other than a pipe smoker. And trying to use my pipe influence now to be a Mac evangelist, because I'm not. But the reason why I am a little enthusiastic about these products is, again, as you know, I got this new machine here doing the green screen, because I've been working on doing a resurgence of my other channel. In fact, it's interesting because this is the first time I've ever uploaded to both of my channels at the same time. So anyway, uploaded this weekend's homily. So this is Monday. So instead of waiting to the very end, like as you know, like when you're cramming for a class in school test, and you studied the night before, and quote unquote cram for the exam. And I've done that many, many times on my little YouTube homilies. I mean, sometimes that was all the time. That's the only way I could do it, because I had other things that I had to do. That the homilies are my own personal time. I don't act like I'm some kind of a media star and prima donna and anything like that. This is, in fact, it's kind of more of a secretive kind of a thing. The reason why I have the green screen up is because if you go to the other channel, the Stevenson RF one, and you see me in the church preaching, well, technically I'm not actually in the church preaching. Now, I have to be careful, because I think some people think maybe this guy's just a fake. He does all this green screen stuff. He's not even a real priest. He just pretends to be. If you want to believe that, you can. But I assure you that I am very real. But the thing is that the only time I actually really preach in the church is on Sunday mornings. So to go back in the church during the day, during a weekday, you might think, well, that'd be pretty easy, right? Well, not really, because there are people that are going in there praying. And I don't want to disturb their prayer. And I know that, I can probably, I don't know if I can. I was going to say, I can't really preach my way out of a wet paper bag, but the thing is that what I do is I film the background of the church, and then I film myself here in the rectory with my green screen up, and then I just, green screen myself in there, and voila. And it's a little bit easier, because then I'm not quite as self-conscious. So, but anyway, so just enjoying watching the sun go down, and drinking a little drools, which I find very refreshing, believe it or not. So, okay, I wanted to just get on here and tie up some loose ends. Because I've had a few people ask me questions about green screens. I've had people ask me about software and about the Mac Retina display, MacBook Pro. And all I can tell you is, yeah, if you are a Windows person, and again, I say this from personal experience, and plus I just found out some things today about software, which I still highly recommend, but sad to say, the Mac version of Adobe Elements Premiere 10, Adobe Premiere Elements 10, got that backwards, sad to say, does not have all the effects that the full version of Windows does. And when I first started video editing, and I finally got a great program, what was that Adobe program? That was the very first great video editing software that I ever got. So if you're a Windows person, you think, oh gosh, I got to go out and buy a Mac and get Final Cut Pro 10, and no, you don't have to do that. If you are a Windows person right now, trust me, this wonderful program, and it's only $100. I thought it might be a little less now. I mean, it might be a little less now. I don't know, but Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Elements, Adobe Premiere Elements 10. They may even have 11 now for Windows. But it does awesome things. Now, I downloaded this Adobe Premiere for my Mac, and I was all excited to see it finally coming out for the Mac. I'm going, all right, this will be great. Because, sometimes you can do certain things in a program that you can't do in another one. So it's always good to have a good, several tool sets, as we would say. You don't just edit out of one. You basically, what a lot of these really professional editors do, they use different programs to accomplish different things. For 3D animations and things like that, I guess it's Cinema 4. At least that was the one about a couple years ago. Adobe After Effects for, high-speed special effects you see in movies. Just awesome stuff you can do with Adobe After Effects. It's expensive. It takes a long time to learn, but there's some really great people out there teaching it. Andrew Kramer, Video Copilot. Oh, man, that guy, he's awesome. He's also done a lot of movies. Did the Star Trek movie a couple years ago and helped out with those folks. Just great animation stuff. But there's a learning curve to a lot of the software. Now, Adobe Premiere Elements, it's pretty basic, straightforward. If you can do Windows Movie Maker, if you've played with that before, you'll be able to do Adobe no problem. Again, you don't have to learn where all their little buttons are, but once you figured out something like that, it won't take you too long to do it. But I found out tonight, or actually yesterday, today, sometime, that the Adobe version for the Mac doesn't have all of the bells and whistles. And one of the big ones for me, of course, is being able to do chroma key and green screen, and it doesn't have that effect. They have something that they say, well, we have a thing called video merge, which is kind of the same thing. Well, kind of the same thing doesn't quite cut it. So I was a little disappointed, but hey, I am so happy with Final Cut Pro 10. I got a email from somebody a couple people that are thinking about getting the MacBook Pro with Retina display and Final Cut Pro 10. And again, if that's all you're looking to do and you're going to be satisfied with that, then I recommend it. If you can afford it and it's not a big deal, and your wife's not going to kill you. I actually saved a marriage once by I had to break down and buy this guy's Mac Pro. Well, my Mac Pro that I have, he bought a Mac Pro, and then a month later bought a MacBook Pro. And his wife, when she found out that he bought both, she says, either you get rid of one of those things or we're getting a divorce. So he knew I was into all this stuff, and I said, hey, would you be willing to buy my Mac Pro? Because I need to get rid of it because my wife's threatening to divorce me. So the old Padre, it was a sacrifice, I admit, but I saved a marriage by buying a Mac Pro. So there you go. There you have it. Well, that's good. That's really good. So, and then the other thing is, what was I going to say? Yeah, green screen stuff. Believe it or not, another option you can get is green felt. That's pretty much the same shade that I showed you on my other video. That'll work. Green felt, and the reason why I think felt is a little bit better is because it doesn't have the native wrinkles in it that when like a fabric does. Because that fabric just is. But the thing is, with the newest software on the newest hardware, pulling my very first key. I want to say this: the first time I pulled a key about 5 years ago. I had a lot of doubts. I go, I don't even know if I can do this stuff. I don't know if the software's going to do it. I'm just thinking this is going to be hokey. But when the first time you ever pull your first key, you're going to remember that because it's the most awesome thing in the world. I mean, on a technological level, it's not like, you know, walking on the moon or finding a cure for cancer, but it's just kind of a cool thing when you finally kind of can do something, you know, like that. And so anyway, but the old-fashioned way of keying had lots of little sliders, and even Adobe still has that, and to some extent even Final Cut Pro 10 does. But the moment you drop the keying element onto your slide, it's pretty much done. You got to go make a couple of small adjustments, but that's it. In the old day, you had to add different filters in different ways, so the chroma key would be super bright and more bright than you'd ever want to see it, and it just, you know, and it took time. It just took you. It would take me maybe a half hour to an hour to pull a pretty good key, and I would think that was great. I was thinking, man, that's great, that's cool. This new thing here, it's almost like cheating. It's like you just drop it on there and bang, it's done. It's kind of like, it's like a kid with a calculator taking a math test, you know. 2 times 10, you know, 20, you know. Did I get that right? Anyway, so, you know, it's just, so there's really nothing to it nowadays. So, okay, some loose ends. I want to say that I put up a lot of videos last week, and I'm aware of that. I kind of go in cycles, don't I? And I guess probably I'm going to be taking a little bit. I'm not leaving. I'm not going away or anything, but I am not going to be maybe being as prolific as I have been in the last week or so. I had a contest I wanted to enter in. I wanted to, well, and do that little tribute to Dunhill Man UK, and just kind of, you know, as I was getting excited about my new stuff, I wanted to share that with you guys as well. Had some questions and comments and people asking me to maybe talk about certain topics. I've done that. But I probably am going to be focusing now a little bit more on my other channel. So that's where I'm going to kind of be focusing most of my energies for the next couple of months, just because I'm really trying to perfect this and make it a little more of a polished presentation, as opposed to just some of my, you know, slapstick shenanigans that I do here, or even did originally when I was doing YouTube originally for my homily channel. I mean, you could see my evolution or my progression in video editing, because, you know, I would start, you know, testing out new things. And I'd have different theme homilies. I had a Star Trek theme homily and a Have Gun Will Travel homily, and, you know, and I would get into character. I had an Indiana Jones theme and an Inspector Peter Falk, Inspector Columbo theme homily, and so, you know, from time to time I, you know, kind of just do crazy things. Because I was, you know, ministering to inmates, and sometimes it's okay to be a little more crazy with those guys. You know, it kind of broke up the monotony, you know. So, yeah, I guess what I'd like to do in closing is just reflect a little bit upon the, if we call it the life cycle of a YouTube pipe presenter. There are clearly other people out there that have already spoken with great authority because of their expertise and their knowledge on a lot of subjects, and I could never really ever add to that. You know, I can tell you my own personal experiences. You know, like, for example, this is my Peterson Sherlock Holmes Basil Rathbone replica. P-lip, I love it. You know, some people don't. And I can tell you the cut, edit. No, I'm going to cut that out. Yeah, I can tell you the blends, tobacco blends that I like. But in the end, it's just my opinion. It's just my own personal experience. And sometimes people, say, hey, I appreciate that, or I'm going to try that. You seem to really talk a lot about that particular blend, or you talk about these kind of pipes, or you smoke these kinds of pipes, my calabashes from time to time. And or I talk about other people's channels and say, oh, you got to check that guy out. He's awesome. That kind of thing. So, but that's all I really can do. There are other people who in the community have done excellent reviews, historical exposés on whether it's the Dunhill, company itself, taking tours of actual, like the Peterson plant. I think Dub and the Dan did a Peterson tour once or twice, maybe. So, there are people out there who have really done some marvelous things. For example, just recently, here's a person that's awesome in so many regards, but he did a wonderful video of a pipe museum. I don't know if it was in Belgium or Switzerland or Holland, or maybe it was Switzerland, yeah. Anyway, but that was an awesome video of that pipe museum. Just fantastic, One Man Smoke, his Trimble tobacco videos. Those were awesome. Those I'm telling you, videos like that, like these I just mentioned, there should really be a true YouTube Hall of Fame videos, and those guys would be in that, because of their love for not just tobacco and pipes, but their artistry in the way they present. I see somebody on the other side of the fence, and I'm wondering who that is. Interesting. I can see them, but they can't see me. But so I know that I don't have a lot of, when I say value, I mean that's kind of that's maybe being a little bit harsh, but I mean, I like to come on here and share what I'm doing, and just like a lot of you do. And so and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. Some people are just interested in what that you're up to, and they'll check you out. Like me, I love watching a Jay video. If I see Jay, I'm going to watch a Jay video. And there are a lot of guys that are like that, and a few gals. But anyway, so all I'm trying to say by all this is that I may not be making a whole bunch, and I'm not doing this to solicit any, oh, don't go away and all that kind of stuff. That's not it at all. It's just that I know that right now we're in the summertime. Some summertime, some summertime, some summertime, some summertime. And right now things are at a dull roar, even though I'm here by myself. It's quite manageable. But when we start up in September, late August, it's a machine, let me tell you. And I will be extremely busy. I'll still be making my YouTube videos for my other channel, because that's a weekly thing. I got that weekly deadline now. So I really want to respond to all the comments. I'm going to try to go through and one by one. And if you get a comment from me that's 6 months old, don't be mad. Just know that I'm finally getting back to you. I think some people get overwhelmed with this thing, and whether for whatever reason they get maybe whatever, and they feel maybe guilty about not answering all the comments and replies and all that. So anyway, that's all I just basically wanted to say. And I'll be watching your videos. I always love watching your videos. Actually, I like watching videos more than I do video making my own videos. But if I have something to say, you know, that'll be entertaining and fun and informative, or if somebody sends me something, say, hey, can you talk about this topic, whether it's, you know, has to do with pipes or Macs or, you know, going to seminary, whatever it is, you know, I certainly would consider it. And if I have something I think would be worthwhile to say and make a video on it, I'll be glad to. I do want to say one last thing. I noticed there's a few of our brethren that have quietly exited the stage. And I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to embarrass them. I don't want to call attention to them because I think they're just trying to be quiet about leaving, and I want to respect that. I'm just concerned that, you know, it's sad what's happening with some people, you know, whether it's health issues or whatever. You know, there's been several guys that have been here and now they're gone, and I don't know where they went, but they're gone. Maybe they'll come back. But at the same time, you know, it's just life. You know, people get excited about a hobby for a while, and they really kind of get into it, you know, and then it starts kind of, you know, well, it's not as exciting as it once was, and you just lose interest. And I think that's a lot with a lot of things, you know. I went to my brother's house one time, and it was interesting to see all of the different things that he was into at different stages of his life. You know, the dusty guitars, the dusty bikes, the dusty weight equipment. You know, you could just see, at one time he was into all this, and then, well, he kind of got bored and he stuck it in the garage. So maybe someday there'll be a little box with YouTube videos in there, right? You know. Yeah, oh, you did YouTube at one time? Yeah, I did YouTube, yeah. Yeah. You got any J videos? Yeah, as a matter of fact, here's flash drive J videos here. So anyway, that's all I really want to say. So if you don't see my ugly mug, don't press the panic button, or maybe some of you will rejoice, and that's okay too. You know, but the thing is, I'm not going away. It's just that I'm not going to be as active, and there's a difference. Yeah, there is. Yeah, trust me. There's a difference. I like what I'm doing, and it's fun. Right now, it's still fun. It's just that I got to do some real work with my other channel, and so that's going to take the priority for a while. So I'll be commenting. Give me a chance to kind of get caught up. I think once I get caught up, maybe on all my comments and stuff, I'll feel good. And I probably, when I do come back, when I say I come back, when I you know, it's not like I said, I'm going away, because I'm not. But I mean, when I decide to make an important video again, be my first one actually. I probably will come back with a contest. But I want to like Simone Leduc 77. I want to have a great contest, one that's going to be fun and get everybody involved. Yeah. So, but I got to come up with another idea, you know. I've had, let's see, the Mystery Tobacco Contest. I had the Evil Santa Contest. I think those were the only two contests I had. I thought I had three. Maybe those are the only two. Anyway, but contests are fun. People love them. But, you know, I want to be a little more creative, and I want it to be something that just gets people to have fun with something, you know. And that's what I want. Yeah, because I want to have fun, and I know you all want to have fun too. Okay. So, we'll see you around the clubhouse, folks. Okay? So, you know, as I always like to say, maybe we can all say it together. If you want to light up your world, that's right. See ya.